What is up, YouTube? This is Wi-Fi Willie of the Raiders Rundown, and I got some stories for you and some news to talk about. Very interesting stuff. Players finally react to the Josh McDaniels hiring by the Raiders. You have Hunter Renfrow and Maxx Crosby speaking their mind about Bisaccia being let go, McDaniels being brought in at the Pro Bowl. So we'll get to that in just a second. But another big thing, and I think this is a big problem, and I know a lot of people tell me to not talk about this, but trust me, I think this is a big issue. Derek Carr has yet to say anything. He's yet to say anything. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about, does Carr deserve this? Think about it. He does not have a contract extension. People are even talking about it on national TV that Carr is likely to play out on a one-year contract, play out on a one-year prove-it deal for the rest of his time in Vegas. I don't think he wants that, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit too. But first, we got Hunter Renfrow at the Pro Bowl talking about everything that's happened so far. One of the first people to react at this point, and I've looked online, checked social medias, Jonathan Abram retweeting the Raiders hiring McDaniels. Other than that, that's all I've seen from social media on anybody reacting to McDaniels other than these two Pro Bowl comments, which we're going to get to. So Hunter Renfrow, obviously, we love Rich, and we think he did a great job. It feels like you're losing a teammate. We cared a lot about him and are very thankful for him. But you can't hold that against Josh McDaniels. We're excited, and I don't think there's any turmoil. So very positive. He also said some things later, if you want to check it out on ESPN, about the fact that he's excited to see what Josh McDaniels has done with slot receivers. Like Julian Edelman, Wes Welker, McDaniels has made those people look dope. Hopefully he can do that same thing with Hunter Renfrow, and I really do believe he can. Maxx Crosby, Mad Max. Here's what he said. It's a crazy business we're in. Obviously, we're going to be attached to certain people. There are certain people that are special that you get to meet. So yeah, Rich, no matter what, if he's here or gone or whatever, doesn't matter. I'm always going to love him. So yeah, Coach McDaniels has nothing to do with him. So this is a question that they've been asking. Hey, are you upset that the Raiders did not hire Bisaccia? Are you upset about that? Answer is yes, but it's not McDaniels' fault. And you've heard Renfrow and Crosby kind of echo this same point. It's not McDaniels' fault that he was hired instead of Bisaccia. So you can love Bisaccia, but still root for McDaniels. So there are two players so far who are coming out in full support in person through an interview. And then you got Jonathan Abram as well on social media. But the big kicker and the big thing that I'm really worried about, I know you guys don't want me to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it and address some of the points that people have brought up on my channel. Where is Derek Carr? Where's Waldo? Where's Derek? Where's DC? I got to find this guy. I know you can find him at a Las Vegas church sometimes giving a sermon, but if you're going to see him make a comment about Josh McDaniels, about this new hire, you can't find this guy anywhere. You could find his brother on television speaking about it, saying that Derek loves it, but you can't hear from the leader and the franchise QB himself. And I could sit here and act like, he's just negotiating a contract, so he's going to be quiet. Do you think when Big Ben negotiated his contract with the Steelers just recently, do you think he was quiet and not showing support for the Steelers? What about Patrick Mahomes? I mean, he's not quiet just because they're renegotiating a contract. Now, I get this is his contract year. You got a new head coach. There's question marks, right? We got to work out a deal here before I go out on social media and promote you. That's what Derek Carr's camp is thinking. However, don't try to act like this is nothing, because this is something. And there is a chance when you say, we got to wait to see what he does with his contract. Derek Carr is staying quiet on social media because he's working out a contract. Well, then what if the contract doesn't get worked out the way he wants it to get worked out? Then what's going to happen? So something is happening right now, something that Raider Nation should pay close attention to. And guess what? When John Gruden was hired, after Jack Del Rio was fired, a coach that Derek Carr really liked, what did Derek Carr do the day of or the day after? He went to social media and gave his thanks. Said, hey, gave his praise. I'm looking forward to working with this guy. You see this tweet here. Somebody, Castillo, we got our coach, time to get to work. And they tagged Derek Carr. And Derek Carr, even before it was official, John Gruden was actually officially hired. The Raiders sent the tweet out January 6, 2018. And Derek Carr, absolutely, don't you worry, already started. And he also went on ABC News, did a long interview saying how he was sad about Jack Del Rio and excited to work with John Gruden at the same time. But we don't have that right now. That is not what's happening right now. Yes, I know he's in a contract year. Yes, I know it's a new head coach and we had a crazy year last year and he's going to have to renegotiate something. But I'm still saying that leaves the door open to say, what's really going on? Is he going to be renegotiated? And guess what? It's not just me saying this. You can call me a crazy conspiracy theorist or not. No, I'm just trying to tell you guys the facts and tell you guys what's going on. Dave Ziegler did not give a strong commitment to Derek Carr in the presser. He knows how to smile and look cute when he does the presser, but go ahead and pay attention to what he said. He did not fully commit to Derek Carr in that presser, and I'm not the only one to notice it. Vincent Bosignor of the Las Vegas Review-Journal asked a really good question to David Ziegler at the presser, and he said, hey, do you think Carr's contract is something that is that a box you got to check off right now? Is that something you got to address immediately? And so he didn't like Ziegler's response. Here are the key points from his article. It was released after the presser on January 31st. I suggest you check that out on the Las Vegas Review-Journal. But here's some key points that I parsed out from this. Ziegler was non-committal when asked whether Carr's extension needed immediate attention. That's a fact. That's a fact. And you can check out my video yesterday I did about this. Whereas Carr, and yeah, I show you the clip in there. Ziegler, here's exactly what he said. You have to see how everything fits together and kind of work from that point. So he was saying, oh, we're going to look at the collaboration, see what happens. We have to see how everything fits together when asked about Carr's contract extension. So that's just basically saying we're pushing this out later. We don't know yet. He is saying we don't know yet. And this is another crazy thing. And I didn't want to talk about this, and I could clickbait and make a little big story about this, but I'm not going to do that to people. This is what Mark Davis literally said, and this is in this article. It was not recorded. It was when all the beat reporters went up to the table after the press conference, and Mark Davis spoke informally to them, and they took notes. He made a playful remark, and he said, I was thinking about trading Carr. David Carr, not Derek. I like Derek. It was a little joke. It was a playful remark. That's what Vincent Bosignor says. And people laughed, but it was kind of a jab at David Carr because David Carr recently came on the Cowherd Show, said how the Raiders need to make a strong commitment to Derek Carr, and they need to build around him and let him know they're going to have pieces around him to help him succeed. Mark Davis taking a jab at older brother David Carr with that playful remark. And when you say that more remark, how do you think that makes Derek Carr feel? How do you think that makes his agent feel when you make jokes like this? And not only that, for Ziegler to say you have to see how everything fits together, Derek Carr is not dumb. Derek Carr is watching all these comments as well. His agent is watching these comments, and he's wondering, hey, why are they talking about a franchise QB who's been a part of this team for 8 years, who literally helped him get into the playoffs despite all kinds of setbacks? Why are they talking about him? Why is the general manager, the new one, talking about him like he's a question mark? You know, he's got to be thinking that. I mean, that's what I would think. Let me know in the comments how you feel. And here's another thing. Derek Carr didn't get Rich Bisaccia. He still has not said anything about Josh McDaniels. Now ask yourself this. Did Derek Carr know the Raiders are going to hire Josh McDaniels? Or was it a surprise? Because when Mayock was fired, as far as we know, for every player and every staff member, it was a complete surprise. Albert Breer on Twitter, the day that Mayock was fired, actually the morning after, couldn't make it up when Mayock was leaving the building. The guys working for him thought he was leaving for the day. No one said anything to them, and they found out the rest via social media. So as far as we know right now, Derek Carr, just like the rest of us, found out about Mayock getting fired via social media. And right when that happened on this channel, we said Mayock getting fired spells the end for Rich Bisaccia. Rich Bisaccia was the one who Mayock was the one who appointed Rich Bisaccia as interim head coach. So right when that domino fell, Mayock being let go, we knew Rich Bisaccia was not likely to get the job, and Derek Carr was not likely to get what he wanted, which was Rich Bisaccia to get the job. So, I mean, you have to ask yourself, did he know that they're going to hire Josh McDaniels? We know McDaniels and Ziegler have spoken on the phone to Derek Carr, as they have a number of players. But do we know that that the ownership told him they were going to make this move? I highly doubt it if no one knew the Mayock situation. So you have to ask yourself, when Ziegler says we have to do our process, we have to see, we have to table this to the future, and then decide a little bit later, is Derek Carr the guy? You have to ask yourself, if you're Derek Carr's agent and you're trying to get a multi-million-dollar deal, and can I just say this real quick, though? Can I just say this? Derek Carr is not playing on a one-year prove-it deal. He is not going to do that. He is not going to, after 8 years with this franchise, after multiple Pro Bowl appearances, after carrying this team a lot of the time this past year, and everything he's done for this team. He is not going to sit here and play on a $19 million prove-it deal with no dead money and no guarantee in case he gets hurt. He's not going to do that. His agent's not going to put him in that situation because there's a whole list of teams right here that would take Derek Carr right now and pay him some money. Pay him multi-million dollar, multiple year contract. They would do that. Many teams right here. Look at their quarterbacks. I mean, add Tampa Bay to the list at the very bottom. They don't got Brady anymore. You think they want to roll with Blaine Gabbert? Would they rather roll with Blaine Gabbert or Derek Carr? So I don't think. And a lot of people say, oh, let Carr do this. He needs to play on a prove-it deal and see if he works with McDaniels. Why does he got to do that? Why does he have to put himself in a worse position just to please the Raiders after everything he's done for the Raiders? Why is he going to risk getting hurt on a prove-it deal and then being screwed the next year when he goes to free agency? He's not going to do that to himself, and he should not do that to himself because he deserves better than that. He deserves better than that for everything he's done for this team. Multiple coaching changes. Horrible rosters around him. Outside of 2016 and 2017, you can't say he's had a good roster around him. You straight up can't, compared to so many other teams. And then you look at this list here. You look at people who need a quarterback. This is a year where there are not that many good quarterbacks available in free agency. This is a year where there are not that many good quarterbacks available in the draft. If you take any quarterback taken in the first round of the draft in 2021, they would be ahead of all the quarterbacks this year. Mac Jones would be ahead of every quarterback in this year's draft. Justin Fields would be ahead. Trey Lance, they'd be ahead of every quarterback in the draft. Zach Wilson would be ahead of every quarterback in this draft. This is not a good QB draft. There are not many good free agents at quarterback available. You got Jameis Winston at the top of the list and Marcus Mariota. And look at all these people. These people outside of Justin Fields, really, it's not looking too hot. It's not looking too hot in Baker Mayfield. Fields, Mayfield, and Sam Darnold on this list here, probably the best names in my opinion. All these people would look to upgrade for sure, and they would pay Carr the bag. Even if they're not going to the Super Bowl, they would still pay him the bag. So you got to ask yourself, is he going to put himself in this situation? I don't think so. I don't think so. Let me know what you guys think about this, man. I think this is a serious thing to be concerned about. I'm not going to stop talking about it until Derek Carr says something. Until Derek Carr says something to the fans. Until he says something to publicly, to the media, to the staff about how he's on board with this regime. Because we haven't heard anything so far. And we shouldn't expect that everything's just high, like dandy. From all those reasons that I stated before, you can't expect everything's nice and dandy. So let me know what you guys think, man. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like this video if you watched it all the way through. Subscribe to this channel to get more updates on the Raiders, more news, and I hope to see you on the next video. This has been Wi-Fi Willie of the Raiders Rundown. Peace out and have a good one. Later.